Hi everyone. Can you hear me okay? Let me adjust this. So hi everybody. Well, my name is Rachel. If you did not know already. Oh, Facebook is doing up things right now. But anyway, my name is Rachel and today I'm going live to have a little expose. Okay, every week I will try to go live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss a topic with you. The idea is to share some information, little tips, little bits that will hopefully help you in your journey to a good life. So, Facebook is distracting me with all kind of notifications right now. So today we are going to talk about our relationship with food. I chose to begin with that topic because food is a big part of our life. Food is important. Food, whew, food. Okay, so food gets us in trouble, right? So I figure I will start with that topic because we do not often think about our relationship with food and how it can be helpful or harmful toward our journey for a better health. So there is a healthy relationship with food and there is an unhealthy relationship with food. It is that simple. We often do not think about it, but we could be having an unhealthy relationship with food and not know about it. So when you are specifically trying to lose weight or trying to control a condition you are dealing with, and food is playing a big part, food plays a big part of that, you definitely want to kind of make sure or address how you interact in a certain sense, how you think of, how you act with food. Okay, so one question will be, um, well, how to know you have an unhealthy relationship with food. The first one, which is very easy, is the stress eating. Oh yeah, I can relate. Um, Stress eating is, I think, one of the hardest thing to control, especially when we are trying to lose weight. And in this society, which is stressful in all type of ways, Um, one thing that triggered my thought toward addressing stress eating or being a little more conscious was when I took care of a patient. I took care of a patient, and he was being treated for all kind of conditions related to, I don't want to say anorexia, but it will be under eating. It will be malnutrition, but not necessarily anorexic. And I recall his family visiting him. Dad, mom, sisters, two sisters, they were all very thin and more on the pale side. Like, well, actually, pretty pale, to be honest. And I'm not sure what the conversation was about. I recall an ad came on TV about some kind of dish or whatnot, and there was a disgusted face in the, everybody had a disgusted expression looking at the ad. So I asked, "What's wrong?" And so my patient tells me, "I don't eat for pleasure. I don't eat for any good feeling. I eat because my body requires me to eat to stay alive. If this was not required of me to stay alive, I would not be eating." That really kind of, I remember just pausing and looking at them and thinking, and then I was like, well, I did not expand on it. I just shook my head and said, well, I can kind of understand that. But later on, I asked, a few minutes later, actually, I asked, so that's a very strong point. food is required by our body to stay alive. But could it be possible that one may not intake enough food? Because remember why this young man was my patient. So, with the mindset of I'm eating just because it's required for me to stay alive, could the mindset be so extreme that you are actually not eating enough? You are just giving your body the little bit to make it. And I did not get an answer. I actually got this response, but me, it got me thinking. I told them, well, I'm a stress eater. I go to food when I'm stressed. I go to food when I am worried. I go to food when I'm sad, things like that. So what if I actually could take some of that notion and change the way I think when it comes to food? Food is actually needed by my body to stay alive, but food could actually help my body stay alive and healthy, or create all kind of issues, illnesses, disease, make me feel lousy, all of that stuff we already know about. So I decided, I would start thinking differently about food. And the one big thing that came out of that for me was that every time stress took me to food, and typically, it will be an unhealthy choice, I find myself eating a very small portion of that choice, eating a smaller portion of that choice. Why? Because I'm thinking, well, this is going to be here. I'm not gonna die if I don't finish this whole serving, or this whole bucket of ice cream, or this whole bag of popcorn, or this whole a bag of candies, that type of thing. I'm not going to die if I don't do that. Actually, I'm going to feel lousy, so it's not needed. I'm just gonna take a piece or whatever, a small one, and that's it. The rest is there for another time. There is no rush, there is no gun head to my head to finish this now. Why should I finish this now? I will also often think about calorie input and calorie output, because one way we gain weight, one way that we pound on weight, is because of too much calories. Too much calorie in, not enough, energy output. And when your metabolism is challenged, that duplicates, that is just exponentially worse. So I started making those changes a couple years ago, and slowly I notice I don't find myself always wanting to go to the bad food when I'm stressed. Another thing I did meanwhile was find a healthier replacement. For instance, cravings of sweets, I learned to dehydrate fruits. It's amazing how a dehydrated apple tastes ridiculously sweet. Like, you put that in your mouth, you're like, whoa, what? What? I did not add sugar to this. What happened? So I started putting healthier options at my hand too, that will kind of quiet that craving. But I also started addressing the craving itself. Why is that? When I'm frustrated, I want to eat something that's going to harm me. No, no, let's change that thinking. It's going to harm me in the long run. Once in a while is okay, but stress is every day, especially in my field. It's every day, every minute, every hour. So I cannot keep doing that every single time. We need other techniques. I need to do something else. When they talk about deep breathing, it helps. For me, comedy helps a lot, music helps a lot, distraction will help, or actually getting very concentrated on whatever task I have at hand, getting myself totally absorbed into that, to the point where I'll forget actually the craving. So that's number one. That was stress eating. Other ways, you don't have the best relationship with food. It is if you are trying to track your calories, or you keep a journal or things like that, you find yourself not writing everything you are actually eating because you know very well you are not supposed to. So when you start hiding the cheats, then you should kind of think about your relationship with food. You know, oftentimes many people are trying to lose weight. I'm on this and such diet, I'm doing this and that, but I'm not getting any results, you know, frustration and whatnot. Um, Oftentimes, most are cheating. They are not really sticking to what they are trying to do. Most are cheating because harsh diets are hard. It's hard. I'm not a big believer on a harsh diet long term. I'm not. It's not sustainable. It actually stresses me more, you know. And I'm like, you know, you stress it so much, you go back to what you've been missing and you do too much of it, and then you defeat the your whole, you know, what you are working on. You totally defeat that. It's not worth it. It is, to me, it's not worth it. That's my personal take. It doesn't mean I'm opposed to anybody that's able to make drastic changes and keep them. That is awesome. That's actually awesome if you can. But many of us, we need to do things differently because the drastic change doesn't work for us. So that's one thing. The other thing, the other sign that follows unhealthy relationship with food is yo-yo dieting. Yep. When you are yo-yo dieting, you should ask yourself what's going on, why that is. Okay. So when you let me adjust my seat here. Right, there we go. So when you find yourself diet off diet, diet off diet, diet off diet, mm, some way somehow you are not quite um at peace with what you are eating. You are not, and you know, you eat however you are eating, and you feel, oh my gosh, I had to diet to do this or get this result because weight gain or high blood pressure or migraines or whatever it is. You know, I have to fix this. You go do it. But then you cannot keep it. You fall off of it. Then you hop on. Then you fall off. Then you hop on. Then you fall. Yeah, that's how you kind of know you may not have the best relationship with food. Okay, so those are tips or things to think about. If you find yourself having that type of relationship with food, you should really consider, and you should consider addressing it. Okay, so there are some things you can do to try to avoid compulsive eating, because in all those little tips I gave you, there is compulsive eating involved, right? There are ways to try to avoid that. Now, I'm going to pause and talk a little bit about the under eating, which is not our problem in this group. But if you find yourself not eating enough for your body to be healthy, then you should look into that. If you find yourself lacking severely of all kind of vitamins, severely anemic, losing weight because you are not eating to the point of having an unhealthy weight, um, those type of things, lightheaded, dizzy, weak because you are not eating, you should reconsider your relationship with food there too. Okay. All right. So tips, 8 tips. Not eight, a few tips actually, to help you avoid compulsive eating. My favorite one and the first one is balance. You want to make changes you can keep. I always say start small and build on it. Look overall at what you eat in a day. Look overall at all the foods you know you really don't need to be eating every day. Whether it's pop, whether it's candy, fried food, fast food, um, you name it, you know, chips. Oh, that's another one. Chips. And what else? I cannot think of the others. Whatever it is, you know, you do too much of on a daily basis because you need that to keep functioning or whatnot. This is what you want to do. You want to start cutting it down. Okay. With several patients, I've said that were like, I'll tell them you are addicted to pop. They will not even drink water. All they drank were pop. And they're like, there's no way. There's no, I'm going to give up. No. Well, How many bottles you drink a day? 8. Okay. Well, let's go down to 7 this week. Okay. Next week, let's try to go down to 6. If you can't do it next week, we'll put it to the week after. We'll go down to 6. Then we'll go down to 5. Now, you are replacing that with water. You have to stay hydrated. If you don't like the taste of plain water, you want to chop fresh fruit, you want to flavor your water. But this is what you want to do. It's not just a matter of cutting down the things. Now you are trying to retrain your brain because your brain is used to whatever you were eating before. And all those bad food actually have components in them that make us addicted, you know. Um, Little quick interesting fact. Aspartate, which is in cocaine, aspartame, which is in pop and a lot of other junk food, they are very related. They kind of work the same way. So when you are eating those junk food and you get, in a sense, you like the junk food because you get, in a sense, addicted, really. Think about that. Hopefully, I just did something to you. Okay. Oops. I just had a little situation here. So you want to start cutting down on that. And there are some, even as you just, if you do a food journal for a few days, as you log in your calories and you see how bad it is, some folks just have some kind of click and are like, oh no, this is really not that necessary. But the best thing to do is to start cutting it. You cut it progressively, in a sense, wean yourself off of it. That's one thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is seek support if you must. This is where, health coaches are helpful. This is where counselor may be helpful. If you have an issue, seek support. If you are having a hard time beating, if you are having a hard time getting over um, that bad relationship with food, if you find yourself where you have to eat so much to the point where you feel sick because of whatever emotion you are trying to bury, whatever situation you are trying to deal with in that way, seek support. It's okay. It's okay to get that address. Ultimately, it's for your health. It's for your quality of life. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Three, you want to avoid opportunities to set yourself up. If you can, avoid as much putting yourself in positions where you find yourself acting out. I'm just gonna say acting out, especially when you are at the beginning of your change, because as you go on, you become stronger and stronger as you retrain your body, retrain your habits, even get a better understanding and knowledge. When they say the truth will set you free, sometimes when you understand things, it's better for you to act, it's better for you to take decision, it's better for you to take the right actions. So avoid setting yourself up. If you know heading to such party or such place is going to get you to, at the end, totally follow off your your good habit, your good path you put yourself on, try to avoid it at the beginning. That's not permanent, but for a start, while you are trying to make these changes, avoid that. It will help you. Okay. The next one will be keeping a food journal. When I started, I used my fitness pal. I wanted to have an idea of what I was eating because to me it was like I don't even eat that much. I don't really eat that much. Why am I always, why am I always gaining weight? And I use my fitness pal per somebody's suggestion. I think it was a doctor, when I was put on metformin and whatnot, and they were trying to put me on blood pressure medication. But anyway, um, that's when I decided to go on my fitness path to kind of start getting an idea of what I was eating. Frankly, I was shocked a whole heck lot. And then I'm West African background, and some of the food we eat delicious. Some of those food are high in calories, high in carbohydrates, and some of them high in bad fat. So it was learning for me because then it helped me decide how much of what I wanted on my plate, especially as I was at parties or get-togethers, it really helped me direct how much of what. I fell off, and as I started feeling lousier and lousier and not better and better, I got back on it, and I follow it religiously. I want to say for at least several months, to the point where I kind of knew the approximately calories carb amount in what I was eating. Do I do that? No, I don't do that anymore. It's been a good while. It's been 2 years, probably almost 2 years since I've been using my fitness pal, because it became a learned behavior for me to, you know, mind my portions, and I know um, what works for me and what doesn't work for me. If I eat too much of this, then I know I'm getting way too many calories, which are going to convert into fat. I don't want to deal with it. I cannot spend all of that energy in the gym and burn it all off. It's not gonna happen. So you know what? There will be another day for that. I even got in the habit of getting to go plates and whatnot and just throwing that in the freezer, and later on if I ever crave that, I'll get it out. I will resurrect, resuscitate the food and have my little portion, satisfy myself, and move on with my life without, you know, actually causing that much harm to myself. The other thing I do is cooking. Not everybody likes to cook though, so this is not um it's not mandatory. But if you are into cooking, you'd want to start experimenting, cooking things that are healthier options, tasty and healthier options. One thing I don't like about healthy food is taste. If it doesn't taste good, I don't like it. I want flavor. So now I start experimenting myself, trying to put those things together that taste good and that are actually very healthy for me. The thing is, the more you try to cook, the less you eat outside. But if you must eat outside, then make healthier options. I've had folks say, "Oh, I had a salad today." Yes, they had a salad today, but they had 20,000 tons of dressing on it with the fried chicken, with I don't know, breads, all kind of breads, and whatnot. So, um, trying to cook, put things ahead, that will help you. And I agree with you, Whitney. Meal prep does help. It definitely helps because you are avoiding um getting to, I had posted in the group, you getting to the point of being starved and going to whatever is at hand, which is not always good. However, when you already have the food there and it's a good choice, it helps you. And again, I'm reminding you, as you are making these changes, you are returning your mind, you are returning your brain, you are trying to teach your brain a different way to eat. You know, you are trying to teach your brain not to be craving all kind of things, because that's added stress on you. It actually makes it hard for you. That's why these little changes are so important. Now, that means when you go grocery shopping, you want to be mindful of what you bring home, right? You want to be mindful of what you bring home. And if you must have some stuff at certain time of the month or every so often, it's okay. If you get something like that, just hide it in the far back. Because if it's in front of you, every time you see that thing, you are going to go for it. You are going to go for it. So just shove it back for when you really, really, really have that craving. And when you do get to it, eat some of it. The rest is going to be there. The world is not going to end if you don't finish all of it in one, in one sitting. The world is not going to end. You are not going to die. Nobody will put you in jail if you don't finish all of it in one sitting. It's okay to put it away for another time. It's okay. All right. So that's the little tips I have on trying to have a healthy relationship with food. Hopefully, the things I share with you are helpful. um if you find yourself watching this video later and you have questions, just post them, put in the comment, let me know what you think. Next week I'll come on with another subject. You have to get on here to find out what we are going to talk about though. Okay, so it was fun, guys. I thank you for coming, I thank you for watching. That was awesome of you. I appreciate the support. And I will see you next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay healthy. Bye bye.